Hi, Jim here from DroneLand, Australia. Today I'm going to take you through setting up a mapping mission for the M350 and P1 so that we can build a paddock boundary to use for spraying drones or to import into tractors. Alright, so first I'm going to come into the DJI Pilot 2 app. I'm going to go to Flight Route, and I'm going to create a new flight route. And I'm going to use the area route to do 2D mapping. So from here, I will select my area of interest by building a polygon around the paddock. Then I hit the check mark to accept that. The aircraft, the camera model, and the lens is already selected there for me. That's all correct. I'll hit OK. So today, I'm going to do an ortho collection. I'm going to rename this as Paddock Demo. The software will automatically tell me my ground sampling distance or how much ground I have in each pixel of this map. I'm going to change my route altitude to 120 meters. My safe takeoff altitude, I'm going to change to 120 meters. This is the altitude that the drone will go up to then go over to the start point. I'm going to use the elevation optimization function. That will help with building some of the terrain and making that a bit more accurate. So now that I have all my settings here, the software is telling me that my ground sampling distance at 120 meters will be 1.51 centimeters, which means this map will be accurate down to about 3 centimeters. Over in the top left, it's telling me it's mapping 14.3 hectares. It's going to take 6 minutes and 20 seconds to complete this mapping mission, and then it'll take 340 photos. So now that I've checked all my settings, I'm going to hit save. Flight mission is saved, and I can click on the drop down arrow and look at some of the stats for the flight. And when I'm ready to get going, I'll hit the play button. Now I can check some of my pre-flight checklists here. All these settings look good to me, so I'll hit next. Now I'll upload the flight mission. So now that I've checked all my settings, I'm ready to take off. Alright, so now that we're underway with our mapping mission, you can keep track of the drone here on this screen to look at where it is on its flight route. It's 51% done, as you can see up in the top left. And you can switch between the P1 view by clicking down on the bottom left. So that's the view coming from the mapping camera. Here you can see that it's flying at 120 meters above ground level. Wind speeds are 4 kilometers an hour, and it's flying at 54 kilometers per hour. You can also switch over to the first-person view camera, which is looking forward on the drone, so you can see what the drone is seeing. I like to switch between these views depending on if there might be a bird coming around in the area, or just to keep track of the drone to see where it is on its mapping mission, and then how much longer I have. I can also click the down button and look at how much time is left for the mission and how many photos that it's collecting. All of this data will be saved to an SD card, which is located on the mapping camera inside of the P1. If I need to, I can hit the pause button in the top left, which will pause the mission. Sometimes you might need to do this if a bird might come around so that you can take back manual control of the aircraft. Once you're ready to start the mission again, just hit the play button. The aircraft will fly back to the point where you pause the mission and then start its mapping again. So the aircraft is flying its last flight line. Once it's finished with this one, it will start doing the elevation optimization flight line, where it'll fly directly through the paddock on this angle, and the camera will actually be angled at 45 degrees looking down, which will help it collect more information around the topography of the site that you're mapping. Once the drone has completed this mapping mission, it'll automatically return to home. All right, now that we finished collecting our data, we can take it back to the office and process it. Check out a follow-up video where we show you how to build the paddock boundaries.